We're back on the auger today. Let's see here if you can see it. This is the throttle spring that I came up with. Got rid of that rubber band and added this throttle spring. It's connected up here, and now we have throttle. That shouldn't burn off. I figured it would get hot and that rubber band would just melt right off. But this is as good as it's going to get for now. I'm going to install the air cleaner back on here, and then we're going to start cleaning this thing down. We need to scrub all this grease off, and then we're going to split this casing down here and check out these gears and re-lubricate all these gears. I'm not sure what's in here, grease or oil, but we'll find out here in a second. So before I clean this all the way up, I'm going to remove the 6 11mm bolts that are running through this housing and pull the housing down. I want to get a look inside this gear reducer, possibly pack it back full of grease. I'm not 100% sure what's in there. We'll find out. Get a good eye on the bearings and grease everything up real nice and put it back together. See if we can drop this housing down here. There we go. That looks like just a bunch of grease. And let's see here. Just a bunch of grease up here. That shaft feels nice and tight. Bearing feels nice and tight. We'll just have to clean up some of this grease that we have in here. Re-lubricate this, and this should be good to go. This is just completely packed full of grease. Actually, to be honest, this grease is not in terrible condition. There's not any garbage buildup in here. I might just move some of this old grease around back onto the teeth, pump some fresh grease in, and put it back together. I'll have to look at it a little bit closer and decide. Okay, so we've greased up our gear reducer down here, and the next to last thing we have to do is clean this all up. We want to scrub all this old grease and oil off the engine. All this is rusted, and actually there's a cracked piece over here on this side of the arm that I might have to weld up, but let's start off by cleaning this up really good with some engine degreaser, and then possibly just pressure washing it to get the worst of this stuff off, and then we'll go from there. So this thing is nice and cleaned off now. It's funny, after I cleaned it off, I found some more information. It says 1988, and then the Jiffy company. I've seen a lot of ice augers that had that name, Jiffy. I had no idea that information was on there. It was caked with, this much garbage. What I thought was a crack up on the arm here was not a crack. It was just the way the metal has been bent. So what we're gonna do is spray down some black gloss on these arms. I don't think I'm gonna paint any of this. the point wasn't to restore this thing to brand new. I wanted it to run well and look decent. So, you know, when I used it, it didn't look so bad. But a little bit of black paint. I'm going to install the auger bit on it, and then we're going to take it outside and run it. I have a second auger to compare this to, a much newer, almost brand new auger. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. The old auger to the new auger I have sitting over there, and we're going to see how this one holds up to a brand new auger. So we're gonna go ahead and just drill one hole with this, and then we'll drill one hole with the other auger and see which one performs better. It is raining out here a little bit right now, a little bit breezy, but we're just gonna see what these things do. So truthfully, this thing doesn't run too bad. I didn't bury the bit into the ground, but I ran through a few pretty good sized roots, and I bet we're down 24 inches, and it runs great. So I guess the only other comparison we can do at this point is grab the new one, swap the auger over, and then I'm probably gonna drill a hole right here, so at least the dirt will be about the same. This is the Viper Earthquake. This is a brand new auger. This thing might have 2 hours of runtime on it. Same bit, we just swapped them over. Same dirt we're gonna be drilling into. The idea is a comparison between the old and new, so let's see how this one does. I'll tell you right off the bat that this one does not feel like it has near as much torque as the older one does. The fact that it can stall out in the hole like that bothers me. I think it should have a lot more power than that personally, especially for something you're going to spend so much money on brand new. And considering I got that one for free out of a junk pile. So we'll have to take these inside, look at them closely, and then we'll go and do our final thoughts on them. So at the end of the day, the Feldmann held its own against this earthquake. This earthquake is brand new, and that Feldmann's close to 30 years old. So I think it did really well. I'm happy with how it's running. This was just a fun little comparison video between the two. Next week, we're gonna have something else to work on right here. It's either gonna be this generator welder or that generator welder. Not sure, either one. We'll probably end up jumping on it and seeing if we can get it to run. But I appreciate you guys for watching, and join me next week so I can go ahead and start on these.